As of the beginnings of 2025, the social media apps that we use usually contain AI that's in a bit of an interesting spot. While it can denote the exact size of the infamous plank lengths, it cannot, for some reason, recite a movie quote correctly. Figure that. But what we can do with that AI is poke fun of it. And that's exactly what I intend to do this video, because I challenged Meta AI, for those Instagram and Facebook users out there, to rank the top 10 best Sonic Adventure 2 stages based on whatever algorithm it came up with. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Meta says Final Rush is deserving of 10th place. According to it, Final Rush's unique blend of high-speed sections and exploration creates a sense of closure and finality. The stage's use of environmental hazards and obstacles adds an extra layer of challenge, making the player feel like they're fighting to reach the end. That's actually a decent summary of Final Rush. I can't lie there. Although putting it in 10th place I feel like is a little bit too low on the list, at least it acknowledges the really good qualities about Final Rush. So you know what? I'll let this one slide. Meta, you did an okay job here. For number 9, Meta decided White Jungle would take its place. White Jungle's mix of high-speed sections and platforming creates a sense of fluidity and continuity. The stage's use of Shadow's abilities, such as Hover Shoes and Chaos Control, adds a new layer of depth to the gameplay. I think we stumbled upon our first pound of absolute baloney. And that, of course, is referring to the fact that Shadow uses Chaos Control during his time on the stage. If you are playing multiplayer, yes, you can play White Jungle and play a Shadow, so you do have access to Chaos Control once enough rings are collected. But under normal circumstances, no, you can't use that here. Now, to its benefit, I do agree with pretty much everything else. I would say that White Jungle is one of those stages that's basically a jack of all trades and a master at none. There's not really anything wrong with this stage, and if it is, it's pretty much a nitpick at worst. Meta said that White Jungle had a good sense of fluidity, and I totally agree. There's not really a whole lot of downtime in this stage, it's just a steady flow from A to B. Our little artificial friend did a good job with White Jungle. Most. Shots fired because Radical Highway is placed at number 8. Radical Highway's high-speed sections and emphasis on momentum create a sense of exhilaration and freedom. The stage's use of environmental hazards, such as traffic and obstacles, adds an extra layer of challenge. Yeah, we're starting to recycle comments, aren't we? Putting Radical Highway at 8, though, is just objectively too low. There's no factual way that you could argue that Radical Highway should be on the lower end of this list. It should have been top 5, no problem. It is also rather unfortunate that Meta never brought up the fact that Radical Highway is more or less the manifestation of Shadow at this point in the story. Radical Highway is pure Shadow, just laid out in a stage. I was rooting for Meta at first, but due to the fact that Radical Highway's at an unjust placement, and it neglects the fact of what makes Radical Highway worth top 5 in the first place, yeah, definitely lost my confidence quite a bit here, Meta. Very disappointed in you. Bad bot. Meta figured that for 7th place, Security Hall was the fit. This stage's focus on stealth and strategy creates a sense of tension and vulnerability. The player must use Rouge's abilities in the environment to evade detection and overcome obstacles. Okay, one issue right out the gate. This is not Egg Quarters. We're not evading detection. We've already been detected. That's the whole point. Secondly, who believes that Security Hall evokes a sense of vulnerability? I wouldn't call it that. I could understand if it made you feel stressed or frustrated, irritated, whatever of that sort, but vulnerable? To what exactly? If it wasn't for the reasonable placement of being 7th, I would honestly say that right now, Meta's full of shit. Meta has selected Dry Lagoon for number 6. Dry Lagoon's desert environment and emphasis on treasure hunting create a sense of isolation and survival. The stage's use of environmental hazards such as sandstorms and quicksand adds an extra layer of challenge. What kind of version of Dry Lagoon are you playing? From here, I'd like to pick apart the comments one by one. So firstly, Meta claims that Dry Lagoon takes place within a desert. I would say it takes place just outside of one. You can get kind of a visual on that in your stage select screen, but just looking at it even, you can definitely arrive at the fact that this isn't quite a desert, but the climate is close. The second part I'd like to tackle, and this is just jarring for me. Dry Lagoon is about treasure hunting, true, isolation, untrue, and survival, untrue. I think. I don't know, maybe there's a secret feature in this stage where if you spend 10 minutes in there, the game will basically bitch about how you need to drink water or you're gonna die or something. Now, lastly, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe my brain cells aren't braining properly, but I don't think there's sandstorms nor quicksand in this stage. I could be wrong, who knows? Maybe I'm just a noob, maybe I'm just too good at the game that I didn't stick around for 30 minutes and wait for it to happen, but yeah, I've never seen sandstorms in this stage. But, you know what? The AI said it. Totally credible. Yep. Listen to it. This is one of those cases where, other than its placement of 6th, which is actually reasonable, it's way off the mark. Holy shit. For number 5, Meta says Death Chamber's worthy. This stage's focus on intense combat and puzzle solving creates a sense of urgency and danger. The ancient, mystical atmosphere and ominous music makes the player feel like they're navigating a deadly trap. I'm sorry, did I stumble into Indiana Jones and Knuckles? What is Meta talking about? I mean, yeah, there is some traps here, but it's not out of the ordinary. It's very Sonic-y based traps. You don't have to watch your footing or anything. I have no idea what this AI is on about. And also, do I feel the need to mention, why is Death Chamber number 5 of the best stages in Sonic Adventure 2 ever? No, think about it. Better than Security Hall and Dry Lagoon? My ass, is that true? Like, at what point is there an emphasis on any puzzle solving? Playing the Mystic Melody? The Hourglasses? Can you even call those puzzles? You're pressing a button in front of a function. Let's talk about the alleged ominous atmosphere. I'm sorry, what's ominous about this? Oh no. Gamma! So scary. Meta decided to go with Pumpkin Hill for number 4. Pumpkin Hill's unique blend of exploration and treasure hunting creates a sense of mystery and discovery. The stage's autumnal atmosphere and haunting music add to the sense of foreboding. The only issue I have with this entire summary is that it feels like Meta's trying to say that Pumpkin Hill specifically gives a sense of discovery and exploration, but that's the point of treasure hunting to begin with. One thing that Meta did hit on the head, though, I would say, is definitely talking about Pumpkin Hill's atmosphere. That is 100% the strongest facet of Pumpkin Hill, and even so much as switching the aesthetic to daytime for the sake of Skyrail, it conveys a complete different atmosphere. I will say, though, that Pumpkin Hill being ranked at 4th is quite a hot take, because remember, we're not just looking at treasure hunting stages, we're looking at all 32 stages in the game. So saying that it's better than 28 of them, yeah, quite a stretch. I don't personally agree. I'd probably put it 9th or 10th, but you know what? I am glad that Meta's at least giving treasure hunting the love it rightfully deserves. For the bronze medal, Meta decided that Green Forest was worthy. Green Forest's emphasis on platforming and exploration creates a sense of tension and uncertainty. The stage's use of environmental hazards, such as spinning blades and falling platforms, adds an extra layer of challenge. So while we watch Meta give in to its urges to talk about its beloved environmental hazards, it's still important to note that it did a decent job of summarizing Green Forest. The only time I would say there is spinning blades, which aren't even blades to begin with, would be during the bungee vine section, where when you are descending, you can see the spinning spike balls, and if you hold down your jump button, you can fall right into them if you're not careful. But while we do bash Meta for using the word environmental hazard again and again and again, contextually it actually works very well here. The aesthetic of Green Forest is also part of its gameplay. That's why while we're traveling through the forest, we can swing on vines, and look at vines, and grind on vines, and bungee on vines. Lots to do with vines in this stage, but it's fun no less. And it's kind of nice that Meta is able to sort of identify that, even if it's by complete accident. One thing that Meta did touch on, which I'm absolutely happy to see, is that yes, Green Forest is about tension. That's the whole point of this stage. That goes triple if you're playing for the first time, because you don't know what to expect when you see Green Forest and then the cutscene loads up where Eggman chimes in saying that the island's about to blow up through Shadow's radar and you as Sonic overhear it, so you know you gotta hurry your ass up and get out of here. Now, while I wouldn't put Green Forest in my top 3 favorite stages ever, I probably would put it in my top 5 at least, so the AI got that much right. And I appreciate the Green Forest praise because I don't think this stage gets quite enough of it. Green Forest is an amazing, definite S tier stage, and I think it should be praised more because of that. Can I just say I'm very proud of Mark Zuckerberg right about now? Metal Harbor is second place, and that puts a definite smile on my face. Now let's see what Meta has to say. Metal Harbor's industrial atmosphere and varied environments make it a visually stunning stage. The level design encourages exploration with multiple paths and secrets to discover. Calling Metal Harbor stunning is not right at all. I would not call it stunning for a second, but I would call it thematically appropriate, but there is a difference between the two. Stunning to me is eye candy to look at. Thematically appropriate just means it suits exactly what it's supposed to be. It doesn't have to necessarily look good, but it has to look faithful, and in that regard, Metal Harbor satisfies that need. Now, Meta did say that Metal Harbor does encourage exploration, and that's 100% true. There is tons of background elements that you can actually interact with. The canisters along the stage, hell, even some of the empty missile silos have collisions so you can climb up them. Granted, they are a little buggy, but the fact that you can still explore to your heart's content makes Metal Harbor such an amazing stage, and it's a great thing that Meta touched upon that. Metal Harbor, for me personally, is best described a golden bar being wrapped in lesser than stellar wrapping paper. The wrapping paper isn't so great, but once you get past that and you just see the contents for what it is, you are golden, and that's why it's my favorite stage. And I think Meta did a good job at pointing out some of Metal Harbor's strengths, so great job, AI. Great job. For some reason, number 1 is Cannon Core? Really? Nah, I'm just shitting with you. It's obviously City Escape. I mean, what did we expect? This stage sets the tone for the entire game, showcasing Sonic's speed and agility in a bustling city environment. The gun truck chase sequence is an iconic moment that highlights the game's emphasis on action and excitement. This summary is really important because it highlights the fact that Cityscape's not just introducing Sonic as a gameplay style, it's also introducing him as a character and a creature with feelings. This is a vital piece of information that I think Meta really missed out on when talking about Radical Highway, but at least for our last pick, the Meta bot got it right. City Escape is just an objective masterpiece. Maybe you played it to death and you hate it now or what have you, but there's no denying that this stage is peak Sonic design, and I really wish we could go back to the Adventure days. Not that I hate the boost formula or anything, but Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game for a reason. But here's an interesting question. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg has played Sonic Adventure 2? Does he like it if he has? Would he rank the stages similarly to Meta? Does he think that Death Chamber is better than Radical Highway for some odd reason that I won't understand because I'm not filthy stinking rich? I don't know. But everybody, that's going to bring this video to an end. I know it was a little bit strange to use AI because it's not something I'd prefer to rely on, but I figured we could do it for this video just for shits and giggles until I realized that Meta actually had decent taste in stages. I mean, to be honest, I was scared shitless was going to put like Mad Space or something in 4th or 5th, but it didn't do that luckily, and for the most part, its reasoning was fairly decent, I guess. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care for now. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.